Support for WYES is made possible by Mary Lou Kristovich in memory of her husband, William Kristovich.
Good evening. I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Errol Laborde, carnival historian and author of Mardi Gras, Chronicles of the New Orleans Carnival, here for his annual Mardi Gras wrap-up. Hi, E.
Hi, Peg.
Glad to see you. He's got a busy day today. Poppy Tucker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hi, Peg.
Great in the poppy color, too.
Thank
Beautiful. You. And we are so thrilled making her debut here. Songwriter, producer, and author Leslie Blackshear Smith here to discuss a fundraiser at the Willow on Sunday night, and she's going to be performing for us a little bit later. Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you
Good
very
to see
much.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And Alan Mason will be returning next week, and a belated happy birthday, Alan Mason. Now, first up here, Poppy.
Well, Mardi Gras is over, but the Mardi Gras still continues in various ways. I don't know if you have ever met Devin DeWolf, who is the founder of the Red Beans Parade. And if you've never been to the Red Beans Parade, it's been in existence for several years now. It's a very small walking crew down in the Bywater and the Marigny, and they wear incredible costumes that are completely covered in red beans. It's fantastic to see. Well, he doesn't want Mardi Gras to end this year, and his crew has gotten big enough, all the way up to 100, maybe Endymion's right around the corner for Devin. But so now they're going to do their first charitable effort, and this is going to go on throughout the entire month of March. It's called Road to the Final Fork. So this is a take on the Final Four. 64 pots of beans with only one left simmering, and 64 New Orleans restaurants will be selected by an online nomination process. So now is the time for everybody to go to their website and nominate your favorite red beans. Wow. Then, this is so ambitious, it's unbelievable. Starting on March 9th, there's going to be 14 days of Bean Madness pop-up events. And they're going to be held throughout the city with 8 to 4 events per day, all day, different times, morning, afternoon, evening. You can hit these
on Mondays?
No, not just on Mondays anymore. Okay. So from the Rusty Nail, these pop-ups are going to every place you can't even imagine. The Rusty Nail to the Bead Shop on Magazine Street, to Terra Nova's, to the Rouse's store, to the Broad Street Theater. Everybody is participating in this Red Bean Madness. It's going to culminate on Sunday, April the 2nd at a big all-day-long event at the Southern Food and Beverage Museum, where there'll be a silent auction, live music, and the official Red Bean winner will be determined. That's where that's going to happen. And this is all going to benefit Anna's Place and Make Music NOLA. So bravo, Devin. Y'all just get out there and vote for those beans. Then coming up on March the 23rd, we're going to have our Louisiana Eats and French Market Coffee celebrity dinner that benefits the Southern Food and Beverage Museum. And Chef Chris Montero, who we adore from the Napoleon House, is going to get to really show off his chops, because it's not just all about muffaladas down there, you know. He's doing amazing food on the upstairs second floor. And the wine pairings will be curated by Bin 428. There'll be specialty gifts provided by French Market Coffee. The first course is an ensalada impastado, of course, named for the impastada family, kind of a play on olive salad. Second course, pan-seared redfish, crab meat risotto, confit cherry tomatoes, toasted garlic and fresh basil. Can't wait to eat that. And then for dessert, warm bread pudding with French Market Café au lait anglaise. And so for tickets to the benefit, visit poppytucker.com. Also, I want to remind everybody that the Semolina Crawfish Festival is on now, and their crawfish bread, their crawfish roban, delicious dishes, but also every Friday afternoon, which I didn't know, from 5 on at the patio outside of Semolina's, they're doing weekly boils and beer events.
Oh.
And then Zero Rotisserie, you always think about meat, 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 and they have just rolled out their annual seafood-focused menu with dishes starting at just $6.50. Asian sesame oysters, oyster Rockefeller pasta, shrimp and grits. Yum! And so it's Lent even at Zia's. So
Okay,
I
Bobby,
have to
thank
ask
you.
one question. Where do you vote for your favorite beans?
you just go online to the Red Bean site.
So, that's fun.
Do you mean-
Unbelievable.
You mean your favorite place that prepares beans,
Prepares
or your actual favorite bean?
at my
No, you
mama's house.
nominate your
Yeah.
favorite place that prepares beans,
Okay.
and then there will be 64 places to eat beans
my.
from through the month.
Wow.
Because it's hard to identify a bean per se. They all kind of look alike.
You're right, Errol, you're right.
Place, please, place, please. New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Carrie Bennett named the 2 other mascot names that New Orleans' teams have had in the name of the city's team in the old American Basketball Association. That would be the Jazz, Sniff Sniff, and the Hornets, and Buccaneers. Now, tonight's question. With one final nod to Mardi Gras, name the 3 R&B artists who recorded each of these carnival classics: Going to the Mardi Gras Mambo, and Carnival Time. Email your answers to steppinout@wys.org. Our prizes. Tonight we have a year subscription to Louisiana Life magazine. Plus we have a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, Aquarium of the Americas, or Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. Speaking of the Audubon Zoo, don't forget the Soul Fest tomorrow and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. with Shamar Allen and other musicians and some great soul food offerings. By the way, our friends at Kitchen Witch Cookbook are still hosting their Hump Day happy hour every Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. You can visit WYES.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events. You can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to view our program. And now we've got Errol to talk a little bit about his Mardi Gras wrap-up with a few visuals aside, too.
Well, one among many thoughts I have from this past Mardi Gras, which I thought was very, very successful, is the growth. You know, people have been moaning that there aren't as many neighborhood parades as there used to be, and they're not. But there are places where Mardi Gras is still celebrated in a big way in other neighborhoods outside of downtown. And the real, outside of uptown actually, and the real movement is in the Bywater Marigny area, where there's just so much activity, beginning with the Crude at the first weekend. Now, the people that participate in that are citywide, but the organization, the structure is right there. But there are other things that go on. That first weekend in parades, that Saturday, for a few years now, there's been this parade called Teat Rex, which is really these miniature-sized floats. This is not to be confused with grade school kids pulling floats made out of shoeboxes. This is adults, real adults, artists, a lot of them, who have made floats that size, and they go down and they have these creative floats. There's this median, this neutral ground alongside
Behind the market,
Rock.
huh?
Yeah,
St. Roch
by
Market.
St. Roch, and they go down the sidewalk and they pull these floats, and they're really creative. Now the adults actually dress in black, so as not to compete with the floats themselves. But the kind of people like Michael Severus, okay? Here's a guy who's won 2 Tony Awards for Best Performance in a Musical. He's pulling his little float
Floats.
there.
Oh,
And there's a huge crowd gathered, and they have bands, and they go as far as the St. Roch Market, and then they pick up their floats, and they go to the lounge,
The Always Lounge.
the Always Lounge, and they have their ball, which is called City Small.
Gallier Small.
Gallier Small. But it just oozes with creativity. A couple of hours later, but in that neighborhood, but if you stay on St. Claude is the new St. Charles for this neighborhood, okay? There's the crew of Chewbacca's. Now, Chewbacca's is all about science fiction sort of thing, and they would describe themselves as sort of like a geeky kind of parade.
And Star
with
Wars,
science
too,
fiction.
tributes,
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
Star Wars would be science fiction, all right?
Right.
All right. And
Like a
so
Princess Leia.
they estimate a couple of thousand people, and it's a lot of mini groups into themselves that fund their own organizations. They move. This is not a big bucks parade or a fancy parade, but it's a fun parade, and it's certainly captures that artistry and the spirit of the St. Claude, and it just makes me feel good about Mardi Gras. And it polices itself, too, because the big parades are going on uptown at that time, and this is just people coming together and having fun, and man, the Mardi Gras spirit just really oozes. And, so
and of course, Mardi Gras Day, one of our favorite things.
Mardi Gras Day, and this also started in that area, is the St. Anne Parade, where it's got to be at least a couple of thousand people. They start in Marigny, they go across, most of them stop at the R Bar, then they cross Esplanade and go into the Quarter and down Royal Street. And it's one person after another, all with costuming, all with pretty good costuming. You know, people will say, well, people don't masquerade as much as they used to. They masquerade more than they used to. You just have to look. In one place you look, you just stand on Royal Street, and you watch 2,000 people pass by with masquerade. That's good.
And we've got some brand new floats in the Muses Parade.
Other highlights, I thought one of the great floats, new floats, was Muses that did this like ducky
Next
kind
to
of
their,
float.
their bathtub.
That was part of the theme with this bathtub. And so there was the ducks from Muses. I thought that was good. We also wanted to acknowledge always one of the really pretty parades is Hermes. That's this year's Hermes. And Hermes is followed by Orpheus, which is also a pretty parade. And so that Friday night, two of the prettiest parades follow back to back. Rex, I always appreciate because it's faithfulness to a theme and it tries to be educational. And this is, Rex is a theme about festivals and celebrations around the world. The first one you saw that character was from Via Reggio. That's a town in Italy where Blaine Kern says he was sent to learn float making. But this is in the Den shot
and
right
that's
here.
The career, the Mardi Gras.
But this is what Rex does, and I really appreciate that.
And I just wanted to chime in a little bit. Congratulations to the Iris Parade for their 100th anniversary, big doings. And of course, they have the little banner on one of the floats, and so that was kind of fun. And then we've got the inaugural ball of the Crude Stars, which is actually a coming together of local theater, thespians, theater performers, and Dennis Assaf with JPAS and Angela Hill were the king and queen of the first annual Crew of Stars. And then finally, it was very sweet because we were walking in the Quarter and we saw a tribute to Pete Fountain by the Half-Fast Walking Parade, which is, of course, his longtime club, and the wonderful posters.
And the marches always wear a matching pastel color, different color each year. This year was lime green.
Lime green, and thanks to Judy Petoni for some of those photos. But overall, and the weather certainly helped out too, didn't it?
Overall, the weather was good. I mean, it was really good.
We really lucked out with that. And you know, once again, WYS presented the live broadcast of the Rex Ball and meeting of the courts of Rex and the Mystic Crew of Comus. And now here we are with Rex, Dr. Stephen Hales, his queen, Anna Eugenie Yuji, and of course the Comus queen, Avery Scott Rowan, and Comus himself during the meeting of the courts. You will hear the voices of Henri Schindler and Errol with me Tuesday night. Take a look. His Majesty Rex, Dr. Stephen Hales, and Her Majesty Anna Eugenie Yuji have entered the building with their pages and their court. Here they are. And we are getting ready for the meeting of the courts, the historic meeting of the courts of Rex and the Mystic Crew of Comus. And our Comus queen, Avery Scott Rowan, and Comus himself, who we don't know the identity of. But he's a smiling Comus tonight.
I think even when the mask isn't smiling, Comus himself is.
Here we are live at the meeting of the courts. A true New Orleans tradition. And who's in charge of all this, Errol?
The Comus captain.
The Comus captain.
Yes, from this point on, he is the maestro.
Yes.
What's left of the formal celebrations of Mardi Gras, he's in charge of.
There, the Grand March.
Grand March of Aida, just a stirring piece of music. And as I always point out, that they're really contemporaries of Rex, because it debuted on Christmas Eve of 1871. So only weeks before Rex debuted. It debuted at the Cairo Opera House.
At this point, I think it is only appropriate that we talk about a lovely passage from a beloved New Orleans historian.
Perry Young's beautiful beginning to his preface to the mystic Crude. Carnival is a butterfly of winter, whose last mad flight of Mardi Gras forever ends his glory. Another season is the glory of another butterfly, and the tattered, scattered fragments of rainbow wings are in turn the record of his day.
And a special nod to the Jimmy Maxwell Orchestra. They sounded splendid on both sides, the Rex and Coma side. A DVD copy of the 2017 Rex Ball and the Meeting of the Courts of Rex and Comus will be available through WYS.org, or you can call WYS at 486-5511 during business hours. And now it's time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are featuring Butterfish and Tulips by New Orleans artist Alan Gerson. Known for his vibrant colors and playful themes, Gerson received his Master's of Fine Arts from UNO. His exhibit of recent works will open tomorrow evening with a reception from 6 to 9 at Lemieux Galleries on Julia Street, and will be on view through April the 15th. And Leslie, it's such a joy to have you here. And of course, a lot of folks know you as a singer, performer, composer, but you also are producing these days, and you wrote a book, and you've got a new CD, but you're here actually for a real special cause too.
Yeah, I'm here tonight to let people know about the Rock Against Racism at the Willows uptown to benefit the Southern Poverty Law Center. And it's a wonderful event with piles and piles of people and a full spectrum, from Walter Wolfman Washington to John Sinclair and Chuck Perkins doing spoken word to Alec McMurray doing his original music and everything in between. So it's just,
and
it's
you can
amazing.
buy tickets at the door, I understand, or go online.
That's correct,
of course,
and go
very reasonably priced.
Yeah, look, I mean, I was shocked at how many. Well, not really, because we always like to come out to help, don't we? You know, and when we can come together as artists and let our music do some good.
Well, the other hats that you wear, though, a few years back, you actually wrote a history of the Jazz Fest.
Yes, I was very excited to sit across from my father at a book signing before he passed away, and I was at my table and he was at his table, and I said, "Daddy, how many books you got?" And he goes, I'm going to write 5, then I'm going to do something else.
We should mention your father was probably the preeminent jazz fest photographer.
Yes,
I love
and
my
also
papa.
the spiritual church, but primarily musicians.
He loved New Orleans. He loved New Orleans and New Orleans culture, all of it.
Absolutely.
He was in love with the city.
Missed, very, very missed. And then you also have a new CD.
Yes, How Love Works Part 1, which I've just finished.
All original compositions,
and, that's
Leslie?
correct. All my solo or co-writes. I co-wrote a couple songs on there with Mike Polera, who is the director of NOCA, and you know, a local hidden talent there. I'm always trying to get him to compose.
And you're
more.
producing other folks. You're writing
I'm
for
working with
Luther
a lot of artists.
Producing?
Well, you know, we have so many talented people in this city, and you know, and my own experience of not being able to get my own act together. You know, it's really hard when you're too close to it. Sometimes you can't really see yourself, and so I'm looking around at these great artists that we have here and going like, come on, you know, let's get some stuff finished and let it be heard. So
well, we're hearing you, and we're so glad about that.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, on your Facebook page, we can find out more about upcoming performances.
Absolutely.
As well as
Leslie Blackshear Smith, please come tell me hi. Come like me. It's relevant. It's
very
important.
Very relevant. Well, we're thrilled you're with us. And
Thank you.
You're going to go perform for us.
Yes,
so we appreciate
I am.
that. So now let's hear Leslie Blackshear Smith performing her original composition, Just a Girl.
I were a teardrop, I would fall. If I were the ocean, I would become still. If I were a storm, I would be the eye. If I were sand, I would become a pearl. But I am just a girl. If I were a tree, I would let my leaves fall. If I were wind, I would whisper. If I were a stream, I would kiss the rock. If I were lightning, you would feel the shine. You would feel the shock. But I am just a girl. And girls aren't wise, and girls tell lies, and girls like me who try so hard to see are often blind. I am often blind. If I were a dream, I would wake up. If I were the answer, I would tell. If I were coal, I would become a diamond. If I were a healer, I would make you well. I would make you well. I would make you well. But I am just a girl. I am the sun, I am the moon, I am a girl, I am a pearl. I am the sand, I am a dream. I am what I seem. I am the answer, I will tell. I'm a girl, I'll make you well. I will make you well. I will make you well. I am the sun, I am the moon, I am a girl, I am a pearl. I am the sand, I am a dream. I am what I seem. I am the answer, I will tell. I am a girl, I'll make you well. I will make you well. I will make you well.
Woohoo! Wow! Once again, the Rock Against Racism benefit concert is Sunday night at the Willow, formerly Jimmy's. Doors open at 6 p.m. with shows starting at 7 o'clock, and you can get tickets at the door or online, as you'll see. Now it's time for our picks. Errol!
Well, Mardi Gras next year is going to be February 13th, which makes it like 2 weeks earlier than this year. And February 13th is a significant date for many reasons, including that the first Rex Parade was on February 13th back in 1872. And I expect that next year's Mardi Gras is going to have a lot of tricentennial to it. That seems like a Bacchus theme in the making if I thought of one. So February 13th.
Sounds good. Puppy!
Sunday, always fun, India Fest. From 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. at the New Orleans Museum of Art, and admission's just $5. And Errol, did you catch anything at Teat Rex?
No, but did you?
Well, you know, I have to say, I love the throws. That's my favorite parade for throws, because everybody makes the throws, and they're all just about this big.
Including little comic books.
I've got some comic books.
Dennis.
I have a little baby, and I have a little baby bottle. They think the baby ought to have a Pabst Blue Ribbon, but that's Mardi Gras for you, isn't it?
I will say,
Cesar Meadows.
I was given something at Chewbacca. Somebody handed me a thing. It says, Cold, K-O-L-D, but I have no idea what it is or what it does. It has little, it has little things on it. I'm not sure what the little things do, so it's a mystery
It's a
object.
keepsake, right?
It's magic.
That's right. Leslie.
Who did you throws when they throw the glitter bagels
Oh yeah,
and
the bagels.
dreidels?
That's one of the best
bagels and
throws.
dreidels.
That's true.
It's pretty cool.
Now you're going to be at the French Quarter Fest?
I will be, and many
Yay.
of my friends will be, including Erica Falls, a wonderful singer. She's closing out that thing. But I guess my pick is just keep going out in this town and hearing live music everywhere and every chance you get,
Yes.
because we need it. The artists need you to come out and hear us play and sing and dance and be crazy.
Oh, sounds
and not
good to
crazy.
Me. That's good. Thank you, Leslie. That's great.
Absolutely.
And my pick's John Kemp. Our very own John Kemp will be signing his book, Expressions of Place, highlighting the contemporary Louisiana landscape, such as this one entitled Blue Moon. Look at that, by Tanya Furman Dishler. The signing will be tomorrow from 6 to 9 p.m. at Ariadante Gallery on Julia Street. Almost 40 artists are profiled in this lavishly illustrated book. And the Friends of Jefferson Library will host their big book sale starting next Thursday through next weekend at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner. And the Historic New Orleans Collection will be kicking off their monthly concert series, Concerts in the Courtyard, featuring Leroy Jones's original Hurricane Brass Band next Friday. And that's in their location, in their Royal Street location. And just to acknowledge that last Sunday, Bacchus Sunday, February 26th, marked the 100th anniversary of the recording of the first commercially successful jazz recording. It was made by the New Orleans band, the original Dixieland Jazz Band, ODJB, and it's called Original Dixieland Jazz Band One Step on the A side, and on the B side, Livery Stable Blues. Go to odjb.com for more information. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching. Good night.